Hi, I'm Jason, and this is the Cultural Breakdown. Barbie movie is coming out this weekend, and we're starting to get the early reviews from it and some talk about like what the movie's actually about. So far, it's been kind of speculation, but the early reviews are coming in, and it's looking actually pretty decent, at least as far as the critic side goes. It says fewer than 50 audience scores, but yeah, I mean, this looks mostly good. But you got to keep in mind early audience scores are usually going to skew more positively because people who are going out to see it are more excited to see it, and unless it's just a complete dud for its target demographic, then it's going to skew positively. But we're starting to see some interesting things come out about it. We got YouTube critic Grace Randolph describing the movie. It was the greatest film I've ever seen. It was super fun, super feminist, and I could watch it in a loop. So super feminist is kind of the thing that people are talking about now. It's almost like the elephant in the room as far as this movie goes. Like, because when you hear about a Barbie movie, people are thinking, is it feminist? And now it looks like we're getting confirmation that it is. This Barbie is a feminist parable fighting to be great in spite of Mattel's input. Uh, Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie is a feminist bimbo classic. And no, that's not an oxymoron. I've seen Barbie and it's a feminist masterpiece. Here are 9 reasons why it really is brilliant. And I think one of the final things is like just pretty much YouTube critic Jeremy Johns. This is how he describes it.
Now, is Barbie a smash the patriarchy feminist film? Yes, it is. It's worth addressing. It's in the makeup of the film. To its core, to the bone marrow of the film, reviewing Barbie and not even addressing that fact is kind of like reviewing Oppenheimer and not even mentioning the bomb. How is the
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. But despite all that, this movie is set to do pretty well at the box office. Now, is it going to beat Oppenheimer? Yeah. I mean, because well, first of all, I mean, it just kind of has something going for it, just the fact that it's a PG-13 movie that makes it more accessible, whereas Oppenheimer is a 3-hour long rated R movie, and the material for that is probably more dry, so it's not as catering to a general audience as well as Barbie is. I think if it wasn't for Christopher Nolan and his pretty much like positive reception with audiences in general, that Oppenheimer would be seen as more of a niche movie, but I think he can elevate it. But despite all that, I still see like, yeah, Barbie's gonna probably do better than at the box office, and with a budget of around $150 million, I'm sure it's going to be successful. What I am interested in seeing, however, is the second weekend drop office on this, because when you have a movie such as this that might be a little bit divisive, but people don't know. I mean, I've been kind of taking a wait and see because I didn't know. I've just heard some chatter about it and being a like a real feminist movie or whatever. And while that's not necessarily a problem per se, it's just a matter of how it's executed. Is it still attacked or still gone about in a way that's accessible to people? Is it basically trying to alienate men in the audience or anything like that, or is it trying to just do it in more of a fun way or more of a genuine way, like kind of like a I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone sort of thing, but this is the stuff that we want to address? I mean, I think that's kind of fair because anyone can have messaging in their movie if long as it's not really attacking anyone, at least if you want to be successful. I mean, I just talked about it in a last video on Sound of Freedom where that was that's being called a conservative movie, despite the fact that it's not really pointing any fingers at anyone. I mean, it's just saying, hey, child trafficking is bad. It's not saying child trafficking is bad because of liberals. It's just saying this is an issue. And I'm wondering, is Barbie going around that approach or not? And so far, it's seeming like maybe it isn't. We're getting some chatter from people who are on the movie and like some other stuff to people who've seen the movie that it kind of is one of those movies that is pointing fingers at people and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see, because after this opening weekend, when you get those target demographics going and go see it, is it going to have any legs? Because if those people come back from it and say like, oh yeah, this is what the movie is about or whatever, then maybe people will be like, I'll just kind of sit this one out. But I think people kind of are taking a wait and see approach to it. The reason for that huge opening number is because their target demographic is pretty big. Now, is that going to be enough to carry it? We'll have to wait and see. But either way, like I said, I do see this movie being successful. I just don't know if it's going to be as good as what it could potentially be, because if you have like $100 million opening weekend and then the next weekend it has a 60-70% drop off, I would say the movie is kind of a dud, or at least it's a dud as far as it doesn't reach as many people as what it's trying to reach. And if you're trying to actually put out a message that is important, or at least that you feel is important, the goal is to try to rope in as many people as you can and not just try to preach to the choir. And if they are just preaching to the choir, it's ultimately going to hurt what they're trying to achieve. But let me know what you think about all this in the comments. I mean, are you interested in seeing this? Do you care about any messaging in it? Let me know in the comment section. And if you like this video, make sure you click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.